Hello, air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and welcome to this, your late April reading. The intention behind this reading is to cover the time period between April 15th and April 30th. If you are returning, you will have watched my videos from last month where I gave a detailed explanation about timing for psychic and tarot cards. So if you're not familiar with timing and some of the influences that affect the timing of tarot and psychic readings, you might want to check out my videos for early April, April 1st through the 15th. All right. You will notice a slightly different format this month. I am doing this as 3 readings in one video. I will put timestamps down below for the Geminis, the Libras, and the Aquarians. But the reason I'm doing this is that I've had a rather significant change in my life. I'm going to be crossing 2 international borders. And in the month of April, I'm going to be driving somewhere in the neighborhood of about 9,000 kilometers. So I've had to shorten the way that I am doing the late April videos in order to be able to accommodate driving that many hours. So I do apologize. I am hoping that by the end of April, things will settle down a little bit and I'll be able to go back to doing an individual video for each and every one of you. This is a general reading for anyone born under the sign of Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And as well, the intention is also to have this reading go out to anyone who has a significant amount of Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius in their charts. So if you're born under the sign, or if you have a lot of it in your chart, this is probably going to resonate with many of you. But being a general reading, if you do have any really, really important decisions to make coming up, please don't base your decision solely upon a psychic or tarot reading. By all means, you can take a little bit of advice, throw it into the pot with other advice that you receive, but make the decision of your own free will. Okay. Also, as this is for all of the air signs, what I find is that when I do the 3 videos combined like this for the air signs, earth signs, water signs, and fire signs, is I encourage any of the air signs to cross-watch and watch the other air signs, because the themes that come up are really, really common. So I'm going to do Gemini first. I'm going to do them in the order that I keep repeating them, Gemini, Libra, and then Aquarius. But I encourage the Geminis to go ahead and watch some of the Libra or the Aquarius, because oftentimes almost identical cards come out. I did the earth signs already. I've already recorded the video for earth signs, and Taurus and Virgo, who are both earth signs, had identical cards come out in parts of their readings. So yeah, definitely check them out so that you can get a more well-rounded picture of what energies are influencing the air signs. Okay, Gemini, let's get started. The first card that we're going to pull for you, Gemini, is going to be the card of where you're at now. We already have cards flipping out. Right. So this video is being recorded in mid-April. Is that one coming out too? Oh, wow, Gemini. You got a lot going on. Oh, that one went back in. That one went back in. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are new here, just a reminder, or just to let you know, when I pull the cards, I do leave them face down on my work surface so that as I'm going through your reading, it allows for more of the psychic or intuitive juices to flow rather than me already knowing what themes are coming up ahead of time. And I find that this gives the reading a little bit more credibility. Okay, Gemini, where are we going for what you are focusing on? Gemini, what are the Geminis focusing on late April 2023? What are the Geminis focusing on? Nope. All right, let's try again. What are the Geminis focusing on? April 15th through April 30th. Interesting. Right. No, we'll do it a slightly different way. Well, we've got one card that's jumped. Is there anything else? Yep, there we go. Is there anything else? All right. Excuse me for just a moment, Gemini, because one of your cards is on the floor somewhere. Okay, it completely ran away. Just a moment while I go find it. Okay, Gemini, your card went completely underneath my desk. Interesting. All right, the next cards that we're going to pull for you, Gemini, are going to be the cards of difficult influences. What are the difficult influences for Gemini? Late April 2023. Is there anything else? Anything else? No. Okay. All right. The next card is a card that just makes sense. It's a card that helps to tie the rest of the reading in together. Card of just makes sense. This card on top, I'm not sure what it's decided to do here, but it is coming up. And there's one more. All right. Now, interestingly, I believe that two of those cards may have come out inverted. So we'll have to have a look at those for you, Gemini. All right. The next cards that we're going to pull are cards of unexpected insights and influences. What is unexpected? Not sure what's going on there. Unexpected. Oh, this is going to be crazy. Okay, I'm going to have to mix these up for you, Gemini, because we've got more cards flying out. Yep. Okay. All right. So the intention is to have 2 or maybe 3 cards. And instead we have about 12. So let's see if we can narrow this down a little bit more for your unexpected insights. That one does not want to go back in. Let's see if there's anything else. Is there anything else for the Geminis for unexpected insights and influences? Yeah. Okay. All right. The final cards that we're going to pull for you, Gemini, before we actually start reading these cards, going to be cards of your overall outcome. And these cards are intended to project or predict exactly where you're going to be and what energies will be influencing you come April 30th and moving into early May. All right. General overall outcome for the Geminis. And again, it feels like half this deck, look at how awkward that is. Feels like a whole bunch of them want to just fall. All right. Yep. Here we go. There they go. I think, yep. Okay. I'm going to push these back together because the entire deck is going to fall out of my hands. Let's try this one more time. Gemini. General overall outcome. That one fell out inverted. We'll have to see. There's another one. General overall outcome. And again, wow, Gemini, they are all over the place. Look at that. But we do have, all right. Thank you, cards. Okay. Gemini, what is going on for you right now here in the middle of April? You have the 4 of winter, you have the 3 of spring, you have the lovers, and you have the 3 of autumn. Wow. Okay, the fact that you have a major arcana as well as 3 separate suits represented here, Gemini, it's indicating that you have a lot going on. I do want to point out that the lovers card has come out for at least 3 other signs. And of the 3 other signs that I've done the readings for already this month, the lovers card showed up not once, but twice in each one of 2 of the signs readings. So obviously the lovers is a big theme, romantic relationships, whether you're already involved with someone or not, whether you're seeking, is an indication that this is a big theme coming up for many, many people here at the end of mid to late April. All right, the 4 of winter is indicating that you need to begin to set your concerns aside. You know, meditation, you need sleep, maybe a vacation, you know. This is a card of just pull back and get clear in your mind. And before I even started reading, I said major arcana plus 3 suits here is an indication that you have a lot going on. And when you've got too much going on, you can't concentrate on what you need to concentrate. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up with which one, the 8 of Pentacles or the 8 of Autumn coming out as well, showing that you're going to be juggling too much. So yeah, at this point, this card is representing that here in the middle of April, at the beginning of this reading, that you need to withdraw a little bit and get clear in your mind as to what specifically you want to work on and in what order, because you've just got too much swirling around. You need to make decisions later. You've got the 3 of spring coming up, and this one is plan your next steps. It kind of goes hand in hand with this one, right? If you've got a whole bunch of stuff swirling around, Gemini, you're not going to be able to make good decisions. And this is indicated by this 3 of spring, also known as the 3 of wands, indicating, you know, plan your steps. Don't be making impulsive decisions right now. The lovers, as I mentioned, the lovers card normally talks about romantic love. So for those of you who are single and seeking, this card is indicating that, you know, it's coming up for you. Whether you've just entered into a relationship, whether you've gone on your first date, or whether you have your first date planned, maybe, you know, if you're single, for some of you, Gemini, you know, you're just putting it out there. Hey, I might be ready. But for the vast majority of you singles, I think that you already have it out there. You've already put it out there. And so you're in the early stages of a relationship. For those of you who are already in committed romantic relationships, this card can indicate that there is a shift happening for the better in your relationship right now. And the final card that you have here is the 3 of Autumn, also known as the 3 of Pentacles. And this is a card of follow your passion. It's your confirmation card. Follow your passion when it comes to your career. Yeah. let's have a look at what you are focusing on. What you are focusing on, be a beacon for others. Now, I believe that you were one of the signs that had this card for early April, Gemini. I'm not positive about that, but I know that this card, the Wise Leader card, came out for at least 5 and maybe even 6 of the zodiac signs last month. So really powerful card that you have this in your focus for late April, indicating that you are meant to be a teacher or a mentor for others. It's an indication that you are a bit of a rock for others. Great adventure, take a risk and move forward. So what this is telling me is that the first 4 cards that I read for you is where you are at now, which is right here now while I'm recording this video in the middle of April. These first 2 cards are asking you to withdraw and make sure that you're making your decisions from a place of knowledge, from a place wherein you've really done your research and got your head together with regards to decisions. And this card is indicating that moving forward into later in April, you are looking for that adventure. You've made your decision and away you go. Ascending the mountain, keep going forward. Yeah, this is a card of once you make that decision, it doesn't necessarily mean that that everything is going to be 100% easy. What it is saying is that there are steps you're going to have to take, work you're going to have to put in, Gemini, but it'll be so worth it, because when you actually ascend the mountain and get to the top, wow, the vistas and the rewards are going to be so worth it. Embracing enthusiasm. You are focusing on your enthusiasm. This makes sense. This makes a lot of sense, because once you have a clear decision in mind, you've done your research, you've done your withdrawal, you've made your choice. Once you do that and you make this commitment to being a wise leader for others, being that rock for others, you make that commitment to going towards your great adventure, it stands to reason that you're going to embrace enthusiasm. Because when we start new things, what happens? We get excited. So Gemini, this is really, really positive for you. Unfortunately, we do have to read these couple of cards, which is the cards of difficult influences. So Gemini, difficult influences, winter, take care of your needs. Okay. So what this card is telling me in the difficult influences area of your reading, Gemini, is that you need to be looking after your health at this time. You need to be practicing deep, deep, deep self-care. If you are being called upon to move into the position of being the wise leader, the mentor, and being, as it says, you are a beacon for others down here. If you are moving into this, if you are ascending a mountain, if you are planning a great adventure, you need to embrace your health and your own needs. Okay. So difficult influences, make sure you're paying attention to your health. The second card that came up for your difficult influences, Gemini, is the star ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. Okay. So what this card is telling me, Gemini, in your difficult influences is that once you make this decision and you commit to a certain path, there are going to be moments come mid to late April where you're going to question, oh my God, have I made the right decision? Oh, am I actually on the right path? That's when ascending the mountain is going to feel a little bit like work instead of being full of enthusiasm. And that is when you're going to question whether you are following the voice of your soul. Okay. That's not to say that you have made the wrong decision. This is just to say that there are going to be moments during the last half of April where you're going to question it. And that's going to cause you to want to go back into this place of questioning. Yes, I was right. You do have oh, wow, you have 3 cards that have come up in the inverted position. You have the 4 of Swords coming up, wherein you're not allowing yourself to rest. Oh, wait a minute. Remember what I said at the very beginning of this video in the introduction, that we're having a lot of common themes, including double cards come out. This card here is the 4 of Winter. It corresponds to the 4 of Swords. You now have the 4 of Swords coming out in This Makes Sense. This is a double confirmation for you, Gemini, that you need to take care of yourself. Again, like I said, difficult influences, take care of yourself. This is a triple take care of yourself message, Gemini. Yeah, you need a period of quiet and rest. So like I said, these cards that I've pulled out, this was my cheater deck, my old tarot deck. I still work with it because it's still fun and it's reflective and shiny. And I do find that it's very accurate. And here we go. Talk about being accurate. 4 of Swords, double confirmation here. Okay. The next card that you have in your This Makes Sense is from the Minor Arcana. It is the Queen of Pentacles. And again, it is reversed. This is indicating that at some point during your journey, either someone or... Let me just tap in for a second here, Gemini. For a very small minority of you, it's going to be someone who is going to try to block your efforts towards this new great adventure that you have planned. But for the vast majority of you, I'm picking up that it's not someone, it's you. Remember what I said with this card? There are going to be moments of self-doubt where you question your decision, okay? And now that's being confirmed by the Queen of Pentacles. Honestly, English is my first language. Where the Queen of Pentacles is coming out in reverse, indicating that at some point, mid to late April, you're going to hit this block in your plans. That's not to say that it's insurmountable, but here's the thing, without looking at the cards. And this is in my book, some of you are aware that I have written a book. It's called Memoirs of a Single Traveling Mom. And one of my themes in that book is when we walk the road of life, there are going to be speed bumps and there's going to be roadblocks. If we are constantly hitting roadblocks, it means we're on the wrong road. If we're always hitting speed bumps, it's the universe putting little tests in our path in order to ensure our commitment to that path or that road. Okay. And what these cards are indicating for me, Gemini, for you, for the last half of April, is that the universe is going to throw up some roadblocks at you. It's indicating here that you're going to make a rather large decision about the direction that you're going to take in your life. And it's going to be made from a good place, being that you're going to withdraw for a period of time in order to be able to make that decision. But the universe is going to test you a little bit. And that's okay. Okay. You're just being tested a little bit. You have the High Priestess coming up in the upright position, indicating that there's a strength within you that you are perhaps not aware of, but it is bubbling below the surface and it wants to come out. And I think that's why you're being tested right now, Gemini, is because it's going to force or push this new intuition, this new spirituality, these new lessons to the surface in you so that you're able to actually become this wise leader and this mentor for others. The last card that you have, and this makes sense, is the Devil in reverse. Devil in reverse is about feeling trapped, but it's also about exploring, like whenever the devil comes up, whether it's reversed or whether it's upright, whenever the devil appears, it's about us questioning our morals and questioning our morality and questioning, why do we do things the way we do things? The example I'm going to give is not super controversial. One of the other zodiac signs, I put in two really, really controversial moral decisions. I'm not going to do that to you, Gemini. But when the devil comes up, it asks us to explore, and this may be one of the speed bumps that I was referring to, one of the tests that the universe is giving you with regards to this big decision that you've just made. Why can't we eat cereal for dinner? Why don't we eat bacon and eggs for dinner with a slice of toast and maybe a couple slices of tomato and lettuce? Well-rounded meal. It's good enough for breakfast. Why don't we eat it for dinner? Is that a moral question? For some people, it is. So these are the types of questions that are going to be coming up for you. Now, some of you may face even deeper moral questions, especially with this Lover's card coming up for you, Gemini, and the Devil card coming up. You may be facing some even deeper moral questions about why you are a particular way in your relationship. Are these roadblocks? No. But they are definitely questions that require your attention, that require you to implement this Four of Swords or Four of Winter, to withdraw and make these decisions. Because when you get really clear in your mind, Gemini, as to the direction that you want to take in your life, and in particular, what morally sits right for you, and I'm talking about what morally sits right for you, not what morally sits right for the rest of society. Okay, I'm going there. I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do this. One of the big moral questions that comes up, and I went here with one of the other zodiac signs as well, is monogamy. We are told by our religious leaders and by society that monogamy is the only way forward for our species. And this has been driven into our brains, and it is part of the majority of the societies on our planet. Does it resonate with you or not? We are animals. Certain animals in the animal kingdom are monogamous, and other animals in the animal kingdom are not. What resonates with you? This is what the devil is asking you to contemplate. The deep moral questions. Sure, you can, look at other questions about whether breakfast for dinner is okay or not. But these are the deeper questions, Gemini, that you are being asked to explore here at the end of April. All right. Oh, wow. You have even more swords coming in here. You've got the Chariot coming up for your unexpected influences. This is a card of something is rushing forward for you. It is barreling towards you, bringing you what you have been working towards manifesting. And it's going to happen quickly. The Six of Winter, also known as the Six of Swords, positive changes are on the way. That being right next to your Chariot is an indication that something really big is coming out for you. It's barreling towards you. There's no other way to look at it, Gemini, which means that with these being your focus, this great adventure, the wise leader, ascending the mountain and embracing enthusiasm, these are your focus for the last half of April. And once you actually make your decision and your choice, these two cards are indicating that there's going to be no stopping it. As we shift out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, as we shift closer to what some people are referring to as either 4D or 5D, as we're moving further away from the 3D reality, we need to be careful about our thoughts, Gemini, because we are going to manifest more quickly than ever before. And that is confirmation for you right here. And the other card that you have here is the Princess of Winter. Again, this is the Swords. The Princess of Winter corresponds to the Page of Swords in the traditional tarot. This card indicates that there is going to be information that's going to be coming to you. And again, with it being with the Chariot, that information is going to come in fast and furious. It's going to be information that will help you on your path, Gemini, but it might be information that you're not sure you want to receive. Let me step back over here to this Devil in your This Makes Sense. When we dig deep into our own morals, sometimes we realize that the way we've been living is based on someone else's belief system, not ours. It doesn't actually resonate with us. When we do this deep work, sometimes there is information that comes up that at first can appear unwelcome. Ultimately, that information is positive. It helps you to grow. It helps you to move forward. But the initial, oh my God, I don't believe this, can feel uncomfortable, Gemini. And so this coming up in your unexpected insights, along with the Chariot, is an indication that there's a question that's going to be answered for you on a deep level here, April 15th through the 30th, that initially is going to feel uncomfortable, but ultimately it's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay, you have 3 cards in your general overall outcome, Gemini. You have the creativity card coming out. And unfortunately, creativity is coming up in reverse for you. This is an indication that with all of this other moral work that you're doing, you're ascending the mountain, you're having to look after your health, you're living in a world that's more brain oriented rather than emotional. And so that's affecting your creativity here going into the very end of April. So just pay attention to that. You've got 2 cards from the Cups suit, which is actually really refreshing after and it's interesting because even with the 3 suits coming out here at the very beginning of your reading, you have the Pentacles, the Wands, and the Swords coming out. You have no other cups indicated until the very end of April. The cups are about your emotions. It's about water. It's about going with the flow. You have the laziness card coming up, which means that come end of April, with all of this other deep work that you're doing, you're going to move into this place of just wanting to sit back and go, oh, okay, I just need to process this. All right. And so as it begins with this 4 of Winter, 4 of Swords, asking you to step back, make some decisions, so shall it end. And you also have this King of Cups coming in. This is a healing card coming in for the very end of April, Gemini. Great way to leave off your reading, indicating that with all of this other energy, deep moral questioning going on, with things rushing towards you. There is going to be some healing. King of Cups coming in, deep healing. And this is deep healing on an emotional and psychological level. So Gemini, with that, I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you for joining me. I hope you'll join me again at the beginning of May. Okay, Libra, let's get started. For those of you who are not familiar with my readings, I do work with a number of different oracle card decks as well as tarot card decks. And as I'm pulling your cards, I do leave them face down until I'm actually ready to turn them over and read them. This way, a little bit more of the psychic energies are able to come out without being unduly influenced by me already knowing what cards are sitting out. All right, Libra, we're going to tap into your energies. Where are we going? The first cards that we're going to pull for you, Libra, is where you are at now. What energies are influencing you now here as I'm pulling these cards in the middle of April. Next one. Libra. Nope, they didn't actually come all the way out. Anything else? Are you going to come out? Okay. All right, Libra. The next card that we're going to pull for you is a card of what you are focusing on. What are the Libras focusing on for late April, mid to late April 2023? What are you focusing on? Interesting. I've recorded the videos for some of the zodiac signs already, and I've had cards flying all over the place, you know, sometimes as many as 18 cards coming out, which I'm not reading that many cards for these, but just flying. And now for you, Libra, I've just had 2 cards come out for your first 2 portions of this reading. Okay, the next card that we're going to pull out is a card of difficult influences. Difficult influences for the Libras, mid to late April. Is there anything else? Anything else? Yep. Okay, so I said that there wasn't a lot of cards popping out. And now under difficult influences, Libra, we've got 4 cards. Okay. The next cards that we're going to pull out are cards that just make sense. Typically, what these cards do is begin to tie everything together. What makes sense for the Libras? What makes sense for Libra? Okay. The next card is unexpected influences and insights. This could also be advice, right? I'm going to end up going through this one twice. Yeah, unexpected influences and insights. There's one card out, but I am being called to shuffle through this one more time. All right, unexpected influences and insights. Unexpected Libra. Okay. We did get one more card here, so that's good. Intuition was speaking loudly there. Okay. And the final cards that we're going to pull for you, Libra, are cards of your overall outcome. These are cards that predict or project where you're going to be at, the energies that are going to be influencing you come the last part of April. So April 30th, you know, April maybe 28th through May 2nd or so. Okay. Going back over here to my old cheater deck. It's been wanting to talk more. It wants to come out again. General overall outcome for the Libras. Okay. Let's go through the deck one more time. General overall outcome. There's one. Uh-oh, that one's on the floor. Oh. Oh, geez. All right. So what I'm going to do is the very first card that flipped out and the card that landed on the floor, I'm going to have a look at. And then we do have about 10 or 12 more cards here that came out. And I don't believe, yeah, there's one more card. Is there anything else? Let's go through this one more time. Yep. That one's on the floor. Is there anything else? Go through this three more times. Yeah. All right. Sometimes we end up with, you know, a smaller deck almost that comes out, meaning that your card is in there. All right. What are you looking at right now here as this is being recorded at the middle of April 2023? Where are you at now? You are at the World. Beautiful card. So the World card is about you completing a cycle. And it's about you starting to turn that corner and begin to look to the future. That's interesting. Why is that coming up? Okay, Libra. What's coming up is for me to talk very briefly about both the tarot and about our chakras for this card for you. So this card is where you're at now, here in the middle of April, as I'm recording this video. And the tarot is about a story. So it starts at 0, which is the Fool, and it moves all the way through, and it tells a story, and it goes through kind of the cycles or stages that we experience as we go through life. Chakras are similar. We started our root chakra, and the overall themes and energies for the root chakra is about our security and making sure that we have our needs taken care of. And it's about moving through the cycles of our life. And we do this numerous times through our life. Both we move through the cycles of the chakra and we move the chakras, as well as we move through the stages of the tarot. When we're getting up into the higher numbers of the major arcana in the tarot, it's an indication that we are completing that particular cycle, or we have moved up in our learnings from our different chakras. And once we reach the top, both the highest chakra as well as the highest number, this is the second highest number in the major arcana. There's actually 22 cards. It means that we've learned the lessons we need to learn, Libra, and then we can look to the future and begin to set our sights on our next destination, on our next moral or psychological or emotional learning and teachings. Okay. And so this card, that was a long way or long-winded way of saying that this card is representing that you are completing a cycle right now, Libra, and you are going to be able to move into something new. A journey is now completed. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on. What you're focusing on, Libra, for the last half of April is the Hunter. Track down your fears and your desires. This makes a lot of sense, because if you're completing a cycle and completing a journey right now, and you're kind of going, okay, well, I've learned that. Let's move on. What's next? There are going to be fears that are going to come up, but also new desires as you explore a new direction, Libra. In your difficult influences, you have You have the Eight of Pentacles, ordinariness coming up, okay? Sometimes after we have achieved the success of completing something, learning a big moral, psychological, or emotional level lesson. And I do want to say, Libra, I am picking up that this is a big moral lesson that you've learned here, and there's a big shift coming up in your emotions. Things can seem a little bit ordinary, but the Eight of Pentacles also represents your money. And so this is a card of saying, when it comes to your money, ordinary may be better for you temporarily. Now, I'm not giving you specific financial advice. I am not qualified to do so. All I can tell you is that the Suit of Pentacles represents money and job and career. And so this is coming up in your difficult influences, Libra. So the ordinariness of what's happening may feel a little bit uncomfortable for you here mid to late April. You also have the Four of Pentacles coming up. So you've got both the Four and the Eight of Pentacles coming up. The Four of Pentacles is represented by the Miser. This card is about budgeting, Gemini. This came up in, the Four of Pentacles is about budgeting, period, no matter what. But coming up in your difficult influences, what it's telling me is that you need to really, really pay attention to your budget the last half of April. You have the Fighting card coming up. This card is equivalent to the Page of Swords in the traditional tarot. And this card is telling me that as you're completing this cycle, as you're tracking down your fears and your desires, there's a little bit of this fight coming up in you of, I'm not sure what my next direction is. I'm not sure what my next steps are. And when that happens, it can make us feel a little bit uncomfortable. And this is coming up in your difficult influences, Libra. So this is, a little bit of a scratchy feeling coming up for you. You also have the Awareness card coming up. This is a card of asking you to pay attention to how you fit into the world. Let me just explain this. So you'll notice that there is this human figure here on the outside, and then there is also kind of a human figure represented on the inside. And what this card is showing us, Libra, is that there's an internal struggle happening for you right now with the person that you present to the world, your outer person, and it needs to come into alignment with the inner person. This is coming up in your difficult influences. Not surprising, you've completed one cycle and now you're trying to figure out, how do I fit into the world again? This makes sense. You are a diamond. You are resilient. You have radiance that you are expanding and expressing out into the world, Libra. When I look at these two cards together, it's indicating that there is an inner diamond that wants to come out and express itself into the outer world. But this showing up in your difficult influences is that internal struggle going on. But the reality is that you really are a diamond in the rough. All right, Libra, let's have a look at what is unexpected for you. Okay. Like I said, I do not look at these cards. I have no idea what these cards are until I actually turn them over. So, Libra, this card represents the ending of a cycle that you've learned a deep lesson, and it's time for you to, really move forward. The hunter is asking you to track down your fears and desires, which is the process of beginning to get clear on what your next lesson is going to be. Over here in your difficult influences, again, there's an emerging that's happening for you, but you're bumping up against it. You've kind of lost your place in the world, lost your direction. As you've completed this one cycle, you're not sure of your direction yet. And in your unexpected insights, you've got uncovering treasure. Beneath the surface lies great bounty. Okay, so a couple of different things. Like I said, there's an inner part of you that's working on getting out and expressing itself in the outer world. Where do we find diamonds? Diamonds are found underground, and we have to go digging for them. They're not always easy to find, but when we do find them, they're absolutely beautiful. And then, Libra, you end up in your unexpected insights and influences with uncovering treasure. I can't make this stuff up. The other card that you have in your unexpected insights, it's not really unexpected to me anyway. You have the transformation card. A fresh new way of living emerges. Is that unexpected insight or influence? Not to me, it's not. With all of these other cards here, this is a card of rebirth, right? It's got the phoenix on it. It's about rebirth and transformation and rediscovering who you are after you have completed a cycle. All right, Libra, what do we have coming out here in your general overall outcome? General overall outcome, you have the 8 of Wands, you have the 5 of Swords, you have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and you have the 8 of Cups as your final card. The 8 of Wands, it's interesting that you have 2 8s that have come out here. Oh, look at that. You actually have 3 8s in your reading, because in your difficult influences, you had the 8 of Pentacles. So you have another 8 coming out. Interesting. Okay. 8 of Wands in your general overall outcome is that things are happening rapidly. They are coming at you fast. Journey, travel, changes, shifts. That's what this card is representing for you. You have the 5 of Swords coming out. The 5 of Swords is letting me know that by the end of April, Libra, you are going to, at some point, question this new journey that you are going to be embarking upon, right? You're going to uncover treasure. You're going to learn a lot more about yourself. This is going to result in a transformation. And this is going to happen kind of rapidly. But there's a double-edged sword to it here with this 5 of Swords, where at some point you're going to question, did I make the right decision? Am I meant to be going forward on this? The 10 of Pentacles in reverse is, again, and it's right next to the 5 of Swords. Both of these cards are indicating that you're going to question, sorry, I'm getting the reflection off this deck. You're going to question this direction at some point, Libra. There's nothing wrong with questioning it. Go deep and question it, because the final card that you have is the 8 of Cups. And look at the character on the cups, or on the 8 of Cups here. Look at the character on the card. The character is over here, and he is walking away from all of his cups. When we end a cycle and we begin to really, really explore deeply who we are on the inside, when we go through this transformation, when we uncover our own treasures, at some point we have to walk away from something. And so by the end of April, Libra, this is indicating that you will be walking away from that which no longer serves your highest good. You're going to be leaving it behind. But in so doing, you are allowing for this. You're allowing for this transformation. You're allowing for your treasures to be uncovered and expressed. This awareness card in your difficult influences by the end of April will no longer sit in your difficult influences. You will be awareness. You will be aware of your deep inner self, and you will be in that place of being able to begin to express this inner person to the outside world. All right. Thank you, Libra, for joining me. I hope you'll join me again at the beginning of May. Okay, Aquarius, this is a very, very long video. Let's get started on your April 15th through April 30th reading, Aquarius. For those of you who are new here, let me just say, I do work with a number of different oracle card decks as well as tarot card decks. And as well, I leave all of the cards face down until I'm actually ready to read them. And this allows for more of the psychic or intuition to come into me rather than me seeing all the cards laid out. And then, my way of thinking is that if I can already see the cards and see the outcome, then the intuition goes, well, what do you need me around here for? Okay. So yeah, that's just the way that I operate. And I find that it lends more credence to the readings that I do. All right, Aquarius, let's get started. The first card that we're going to pull is going to be, where are you at now as I am doing this reading here at the middle of April? These cards are just a little sticky today. Where are the Aquarians at right now? Mid-April 2023. You're going to fall. Sure if those cards are coming out or not. Okay, Aquarius, I am being called here to go through this deck one more time. Really, really strongly. I'm being told that there's at least one more card meant to come out for you for where you're at now. Okay, there was two more cards. Is there anything else? Three. All right. All right. That's feeling a little bit better, although there's still a lot of cards here to have to read. Okay. All right, Aquarius, the next card that we're going to pull is cards of what you are focusing on. What are the Aquarians focusing on from April 15th through the 30th? Where are we going? I'm getting pulled towards two different decks here. Which deck? Yep. All right. What are the Aquarians focusing on? What is their focus? There's one. Focus for the Aquarians, April, late April. Anything else? Okay, we only have one card. Aquarius, you've narrowed your focus down. If I remember correctly, last month, there was like 20 cards that popped out for what you were focusing on. You were all over the place. So, all right, Aquarius, let's have a look at your difficult influences. What are the difficult influences for Aquarius? Oh, interesting. Difficult influences for Aquarius, late April 2023. Oh. right. Next card is a card that just makes sense. Getting pulled over to one of these two decks that's over to my right. I might be pulling more than one card here for you, Aquarius, for this makes sense. What makes sense for Aquarius? No, we had a couple there that almost looked like they were going to pop out and then they didn't. One more time. If it doesn't come out, oh, there we go. Never mind. Okay. Anything else for Aquarius? Apparently there's a whole bunch more. Excuse me while I wheel around and grab your card. That went flying. Okay, Aquarius, let's have a look at unexpected insights and influences. Unexpected insights and influences. Now we're going over here to this deck. Unexpected insights and influences. Nope. Let's try again. Unexpected insights and influences for Aquarius, late April. Interesting. Right, we'll go through. Third time's the charm. If not, we will set this deck down and see if there's a different one that wants to speak to us. Right, Aquarius. Ah, there we go. All right. Sometimes just the way the cards shuffle, there's a specific card that wants to come out. And if it gets shuffled in, sometimes being too close to the top or the bottom, you have to go through the deck more than once. Okay, general overall outcome. I'm definitely going over here to the Osho Zen again. That was a strong pull. The cards that I'm pulling now are projecting or predicting where you are anticipated to be at the end of April. General overall outcome for Aquarius, end of April, 2023. Oh. Okay. Those, that one, and that one. Okay. Aquarius, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? You have the 9 of winter, also known as swords, 8 of winter, also known as swords, 6 of winter, also known as swords. Aquarius. If I remember correctly, in the past couple of readings that I have done for you, Aquarius, you have been rather swords or winter dominant, and it seems like that is still holding true for you. The 9 of winter is about unfounded fear. It's about you focusing on worst case scenario, Aquarius. Now, these are the cards of where you are at now, here as I am recording the video in the middle of April. Given the fact that you have had a significant amount of swords in your most recent readings, and now for the where you're at now, there's swords coming out again. It's an indication that you're kind of continuing this. Now, you might be moving out of this, especially considering the last card in the where you're at now is the release card, and I'll get into that card in just a moment. But this is a really, really powerful shift card. So I'll get into that in a moment. So Aquarius, right now you are sitting in this brooding worst case scenario. Oh my God, everything bad is happening this year. mind is being consumed by this rather than believing in yourself. Now, I want to point out that the way that these cards came out was the 9 first, and then the 8, and then the 6. It didn't come out 6, 8, 9. They came out in the other order. So you are sitting in this place of brooding over and worrying about and worst case scenario and what's the word? You are, let's hope I can pronounce this, catastrophizing, Aquarius. The thing is that this 8 of Swords or 8 of Winter wants to remind you that you have what it takes. You have everything within you, Aquarius, to get through this. This is a card of lack of self-confidence. This is a card of imposter syndrome. And I know Aquarians are renowned for imposter syndrome. In fact, out of all 12 zodiac signs, I would say that the one zodiac sign that is most susceptible to imposter syndrome is you, Aquarius. So this is where you're at now. You're allowing this catastrophe thinking. You're allowing this imposter syndrome to consume you. But the 6 of Swords is saying there's good things on the way for you. Okay. Now, if these had come out in the other order, if they had come out as the 6 first, and then the 8, and then the 9, this reading would be very, very different. But instead, Aquarius, it came out 9 first. Be careful with your thoughts. Because if you're thinking about catastrophe all the time, what do you think is going to consume your thoughts, right? Next, you had the 8. Be careful. Your imposter syndrome is coming out. But the 6 of Winter, the 6 of Swords, wants you to know these you can throw away because good things are happening. Why? Because right next to the 6 of Swords, you have the Magician. The Magician is a card of you are so magical, so powerful. You can create your own reality. Now, I do want to point out, Aquarius, that I did the Earth signs video earlier, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And for at least 2 of those signs, the Magician came out twice. Twice. And now, Aquarius, you have the Magician coming out. This is a card of people waking up and realizing how powerful they are and the fact that it's not magic. We have the ability to create our own realities. That has been suppressed, that has been hidden from us. There are certain parts, factions of society that want to keep this knowledge hidden from us because they don't like competition. Well, guess what, Aquarius? You just woke up. We are fully into the age of Aquarius, especially with Pluto having moved into Aquarius this week. Aquarius, wake up. You are so powerful. And you have the ability to create your reality. But here's the problem, Aquarius. What are you creating your reality with? Your thoughts. Where are your thoughts right now? On catastrophe and imposter syndrome. Aquarius, come on. This is your time. This is your time. Create the reality. Yes, there's that quote coming to mind. Be the change you wish to see in this world. because you can create it, Aquarius. The final card that you have in where you're at now is the number 13 card, the release card. This card corresponds to the death card in the traditional tarot. What does the death card mean, Aquarius? Leave the past where it belongs, in the past. Leave your imposter syndrome behind. Leave your catastrophe thoughts in the past, because you are changing, you are waking up. I also want to point out that these three cards belong to the minor arcana. So these are more of a whisper. These are more of a, hey, Aquarius. These two cards are part of the major arcana. These two cards are screaming, wake up. You are magical, you are powerful, and you can create a whole new world. And when you do that, there is so much change and release that's going to happen, and we can move into amazing, great things. Let go of the past, Aquarius. What are you focusing on? Oh my goodness, Aquarius, you are focusing on the Three of Cups, celebration, moving forward, moving out of the old cycle and moving into the new cycle. Okay, the Three of Cups is almost always represented in all of the tarot decks as three women dancing, representing the maiden, the goddess, and the crone, representing cycles. We have just moved out of a cycle. We are moving into a new cycle, and it is time, Aquarius, for you to celebrate. And when Aquarius focuses on celebration, what happens? Because Aquarius is the magician, it is so, so, so powerful that the rest of the world wants to come along for the celebration. Beautiful, Aquarius. What are your difficult influences? Difficult influences right now. You have Father Sky in your difficult influences, trust in the unknown. Yeah. See, that's the problem. When you don't trust your inner magician, Aquarius, how are you going to let your magician come out? How are you going to let the magic out? Hello, Missy. Hello, girl. Are you coming to help? All right. So Aquarius, getting back into it. Sorry, minor distraction here by my familiar. Okay. This is in your difficult influences. This means that you are not trusting yourself. Wait a minute. Didn't we have a card about not trusting yourself? Oh, yeah, right. Eight of Winter, Eight of Swords, Imposter Syndrome. Not really surprising, Aquarius, that you've got this in your difficult influences. Okay. What does this mean? It means that you just need to work a little bit harder, Aquarius, at trusting in the unknown. The other card that you have in your difficult influences is the She-Wolf. Unleash the wild within. Aquarius, how are you going to implement change in the world if you're not allowing your inner wild to come out and play? Aquarius, you have the Three of Cups here. The Three of Cups is almost always represented by three female figures dancing in the rain and having a celebration and a dance. Is that a little bit wild? Mm-hmm. Let your inner wild come out. Dance in the rain. Have some fun, Aquarius. You have the Empress. You have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is the happiest card in the deck. You have the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands coming out. And you have the Nine of Swords. Oh, wait. Double confirmation here, Aquarius. You have the very first card that I read for you. Nine of Winter, also known as the Nine of Swords. Thinking too much. All right. These cards here are the cards that just make sense. They will tie the rest of this reading together. And here's why. You have the Empress. The Empress is a problem solver. What else can I say about the Empress? Overall positivity, being able to look at a problem and just solve it. You have the Ten of Cups, happiest card in the deck. Ten of Cups, good things are coming towards you, contentment, love, emotional stability, psychologically, things are going to smooth themselves out, positive achievements, all of these things. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're celebrating and you're focusing on celebrating, then good things are going to come, right, Aquarius? If you are truly, truly embracing your inner magician, Aquarius, the Ten of Cups is the result. But what's blocking you? What's stopping you? Nine of Swords, catastrophism again. Look at the character on this card. Take a good look. Lying in bed, not being able to sleep at night, thinking about all of the problems instead of the solutions. Aquarius, you've got to let this go. Aquarius, you have two more cards here. Both cards are twos. You have the Two of Swords and you have the Two of Wands. The Two of Swords represents a situation where you're having difficulty moving forward, where you've created a duality for yourself. Both twos represent dualities, where you're creating this situation of duality. Okay. This is why these cards make sense. On the one side, you've got the Empress and you've got the Happy card. And on the other side, all you are thinking about is, oh, this is so bad. Oh, catastrophism. Oh, the world is ending. Oh. Why didn't I think of that? I don't know why this is coming up, but it's coming up, Aquarius. Do any of you know the story of the little red hen? Little red hen asks for help with things. Everyone says no. Fine, I'll do it all myself. Little red hen asks for help. Everyone says no. Fine, I'll do it all myself. At the end, little red hen has a house, farm, all of this stuff, and everybody comes and says, can I have some? What do you think the little red hen says? They have a choice. They have a duality. They have a moral dilemma at that point. Nobody helped the little red hen build the house, build the farm, plant the seeds, grow the food. But at the end, everybody wants to partake in it. There's a duality that's being created. And that's what you've done in your life right now, Aquarius. You've got the Magician coming out with the Nine of Swords. You've got the Empress and the Ten of Cups coming out with the Nine of Swords. You, Aquarius, are creating this duality and this indecision. The Two of Wands is the last card that comes out in your This Makes Sense. And what this card represents is that probably by the end of the month, Aquarius, and I'm going to turn over your final cards in just a moment, it shows that something unexpected is going to come into this fray. Something unexpected is going to come into this duality that you've created, Aquarius. And it's going to force you to make a choice. Make a decision. Are you going to continue to live in this duality of, I am magical, I am powerful, I can create everything, to, oh, the world is ending, the sky is falling? Are you going to live in the place of the Empress and the Ten of Cups and all of this positivity? Or are you going to continue to wake up in the middle of the night in insomnia thinking about a worst case scenario? This Two of Wands is indicating that something is going to force you to make a decision, right? So unexpected insights and influences, Aquarius, you ended up with the Lightning. What does this card correspond to in the tarot? This card from this particular deck corresponds to either the Tower or the Death card. The last thing I said with reading the This Makes Sense cards with the Two of Wands is that something is going to come up that's going to force you to make a choice, Aquarius. This card confirms it. In your overall outcome, Aquarius. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. In your overall outcome, Aquarius, you have the Thunderbolt. You have double Thunderbolts. When we have two cards come out in a reading with identical meanings, such as the Nine of Swords, and now you have two cards coming out. What did I say before I even turned this card over? I said this card can represent either the Tower or the Death card. In your general overall outcome, Aquarius, you have the Tower, the Thunderbolt. This is confirming the unexpected insight or influence that something is going to force you out of your indecision. Where is that going to leave you? Well, the next card that you have is another Swords card. This is the Page of Swords. This card represents fighting. You are the second or the third zodiac sign this month to have the fighting card in outcome. When this card comes out in our outcome, immediately accompanied by either a Death card or a Tower card, it's because when we recognize that we have been deceived, when we recognize that things are not as they originally seemed, and when we are finally able to break out of that cycle, we get angry. We get angry. Do we have to take action on it? Absolutely not. We need to somehow express the anger in a healthy way. We need to release it, Aquarius. But going out and fighting, like physically fighting, being the warrior, being the knight like this on the card, it's not going to serve your highest good. But at some point, going into the very end of April, there is going to be this desire to, I can't believe this happened. I can't believe I fell for it moment. Okay. Experience it and then let it go. And what that will bring you, Aquarius, is a new awareness, a rebirth. So you will notice on this card that there is the character outside here, which is represented by the outer self that you have been presenting to the world, Aquarius. That outer self no longer serves your highest good. And so it's going to be like, the visual that I have coming up is, in Looney Tunes, for example, the Tasmanian Devil, the movie, the actual movie, Looney Tunes, the Tasmanian Devil strips off, like he's always undoing a zipper and he emerges as something new, and he undoes a zipper and emerges as something new. Okay. And so think about that visual. If you're not familiar with it, you can look it up probably on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll put the link down below, but I'm not sure if I'll find it. But that's the visual I have when this card comes up, of us having this suit on, or this mask that we present to the world. And when we awaken, after we've had a tower moment, or a release moment, or death card moment, or a lightning bolt moment, when we've experienced that, it's like we undo this big zipper, and this mask that we have been falls away, and we emerge with a fresh new awareness. Okay. And so this is your general overall outcome, Aquarius, that this card is indicating that as you experience all of this, you're going to be able to let go of this duality, this double twos that came out, the Two of Swords and the Two of Wands. You're going to be able to let go of this waffling back and forth from imposter to magician. That's what this card is indicating as your general overall outcome, Aquarius. All right. Thank you for joining me. If I can find a link to a video to give you that visual that I have in my mind about emerging and this new awareness, I will definitely put it in the link, but not positive whether I'll be able to find it or not. Thank you for joining me, Aquarius. I will see you again at the beginning of May.